Got some significant real estate news we need to share with you today, and I've asked my friend Brian Reed from the Ryan and Brian Real Estate team to stop by and catch up to speed on, first up, the big development on commissions in home sales. Those are changing. So do your best, Brian. Give us the background on this. Where did all this start?
There's been an antitrust lawsuit, and a lot of the NAR settled for $418 million, and some of the brokerages settled as well. And that's a big, hefty dollar amount, and people are up in arms and saying, well, realtors have been being paid way too much for all these years. I have to disagree. If you look at what we get paid hourly, some people would definitely not want to take on this job. It's a hard job. Yes, you can see a commission statement and be like, wow, they made a lot in this house, but how many times do we actually work for free? So an agent might close, 24, 30 homes a year, but how many hundreds of clients do they work with? It's a rough industry. And yes, I do believe, I'm very proud to be a realtor. I'm very proud of our industry. But I do believe that there was some reform needed. And for the longest time, sellers have been paying a majority of the commission. Typically speaking, a commission could be around 6%. Mm-hmm. And people had the point of view that by sellers having to pay that commission, pricing is being overinflated. So sellers had to take that in consideration and increase their price. That being said, there was a settlement, and there's going to be major changes in the industry. Essentially, buyers are now going to be required to sign a buyer rep agreement, which we've been doing for 17 years. A lot of realtors haven't been doing that, but we don't put anybody in our car or vehicle unless we have that buyer signed rep agreement because we are their legal representation. So that's going to change. Another thing is majority of buyers are now going to have to pay commission. Sellers are going to pay their listing agent, and buyers are going to pay their buyer's agent. That doesn't mean that sellers can't offer incentives, which I strongly encourage because they're going to need to incentivize buyers to come to their property and realtors. But things are going to majorly change. So we're going to see major changes on the horizon. We have roughly 1.6 million realtors right now. So if you go to a party, you probably know a realtor there. Mm-hmm. The barrier of entry is pretty low, but the ability to make money is pretty hard. So it's the 90-10 rule in real estate. 10% of the realtors make 90% of the money in real estate. So they're not all created equal. With this shift, there's a belief that we can lose as many as 1 million realtors coming this next year.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's scary for a lot of people. But at the same time, we do have way too many people in our industry, and we probably need some reform, and we're probably going to lose a lot of realtors.
Brian Reed from the Ryan and Brian Real Estate team. We're talking about a major decision of late, regulatory decision on who pays commission on home sale, and where the standard was 6% at one time, right, is now split 3 ways, 2 ways. Is it? How does it split? What will be the commission for example, the first one, which was the seller, right, which would pay the commission, right, from all the work. So now it's split 3 ways: realtor, seller, buyer, all that, or what?
It's gonna be different. So typically, like I said, the seller was paying commission, and they'd pay their agent, and then they had a CSO that they'd pay the buyer's agent. Now sellers are probably going to want to pay less commission, and the seller might be offering little to no commission, and the buyer is going to have to come up with the rest of that money. Now, how that works is going to be interesting because the way the lending industry works now with Freddie and Fannie, they are not allowed to apply any loan proceeds towards commission. So there's going to be change in that. So there might have to be some regulatory issues there. If
recalculation,
yes, because if a buyer's coming into a closing, they have to take in consideration down payment and closing cost. Now they're going to have to take in consideration commissions.
Is that effective immediately?
It's around July. So we don't know all the details yet.
Oh my goodness!
I'm still learning as we speak. I've been watching every YouTube video out there.
Is there still a chance that somebody will step in, hire some attorneys? Okay, let's put a pause on this, people. Let's figure this out over the next 12 months or so, or something like that.
Well, the NAR has settled. They really want to settle because it could have been worse.
The National Association of Realtors.
And I don't know what happened behind closed doors. I don't agree with a lot of the viewpoints of why people think the commissions are increasing the price. I don't agree with a lot of that stuff, but that's for a much longer conversation.
Brian Reed is a friend of mine. He's an expert in real estate, has been for many, many years. I asked him to come to the studio to explain to me this. there's major change in who pays what as far as commissions on sales. Will the standard still be, give or take, about 6% of the sale price, or will it be more because more people are involved now? Do you know?
Commissions are always negotiable, first off. Okay. And it's just, you pay for what you get. It's like in any industry. Yeah. And for a long time, there's a lot of people like Zillow trying to make the industry like LegalZoom, right? And so you have LegalZoom, you have that option, right? Me personally, if I need legal advice, I'm going to an attorney, you know? If you're going to go the cheap route, the free route, there's a strong likelihood that you're going to get something messed up, right? Yeah. And realtors are always going to be necessary. For 95% of the people out there, this is their biggest investment. So you don't want to get rid of the realtor. Lenders don't want to get rid of realtors. And so that's why they're going to work for reform, because if lenders have buyers going out there buying properties without realtors, guess what's going to happen? They're not going to do inspections. They're going to overpay for a property. And then when we get to closing, lender's not going to lend on that when it's got inspections. It says, hey, you got holes in your roof. I'm not lending to you. You're $20,000 above asking appraised value. I'm not going to lend to you. So it's going to get really messy. But that being said, I do think the standard of realtor is going to be significantly higher. I believe at some point a realtor needs to either be on a team or they need to have a strong niche. We do have way too many realtors right now, and I think it's going to help, maybe clean up the industry.
Last you and Tania and I were speaking, you were telling me about this you personally, a business relationship that you have with a builder out in West Texas that will be investing here. What more can you tell me?
I'm extremely excited about this surge. These guys are amazing people. Edwards Homes, Ryan and Brian will be the exclusive listing agent for them. They're a top 200 national builder. They've been in business for over 20 years in the El Paso market. The first market they're looking to go to is the RGV. They really believe in us. They believe in border communities. They're from a border community. They're very innovative. They have amazing floor plans. Tania and I got to go there a couple weeks ago. Just great people, and they're going to do a lot of good things for our community. One thing that they do is they're doing affordable homes. We don't have affordable new construction homes right now, and with quality construction, and they're going to bring that in here. And so I'm extremely excited about that. And we broke ground this week, actually. So.
Where'd you guys?
Edinburgh. So we'll have our first.
So is that the market, the first market?
The first market. We'll have 20 homes out there. Should have those by the summer. Then we should have another 25 lots in Westico, and those should be ready probably early fall. We're looking at Harlingen, we're looking at Mission, we're looking at Brownsville. So we'll be valley-wide. Again, they're extremely realtor friendly. So realtors out there, if you're listening. They pay commissions and they'll take care of you, and we'll make sure that they take care of you as well. And we look forward to working with you guys. So this is going to be a great partnership for the Rio Grande Valley. Yeah, and just in time when the RGV economy is growing by leaps and bounds with all the Port of Brownsville opportunity, with steel, with LNG, SpaceX expanding like crazy, and everything that Soho over here in McAllen, all those things taking place. It's Boomtown, USA. It is, and that's why they're coming here. They see the growth. They believe in our community, and we have a lot of good things in the valley. We have millennials and Generation Z that are still moving up, and we're going to have a buying population for many years to come.
Tell me, as far as market activity, RGV, absorption rate, average sale price, all that stuff, what do you got for the most recent report?
Yeah, when we sat down a couple weeks ago, I was just telling you, I went back and I looked over the numbers for the past 5 years. So I looked at, that was February we met, and in January of 2020, we had a 6.6 month absorption rate. Absorption rate, what that means is if you took all of the homes that are currently on the market right now, how long would it take for those homes to be absorbed? How long could we sell those? At what rate? A 6 to 7 month is considered a neutral market. If you're above 7 months, you're a buyer's market. And if you're below 6 months, you're a seller's market. So again, going into pre-pandemic, January 2020, we're at 6.6 months. You go a year later, January 2021, we fell all the way to 3.3 months. So it halved. January 2022, it went even lower to 2.6 months.
Wow.
January 2023, it went back to 5 months. And now January 24, we're at 6.5 months. So we're roughly the exact same inventory that we had pre-pandemic. So, we're in a stable market. It'd be interesting to see how this situation with NAR goes, and if that changes pricing or slows. It could honestly slow things down because it's going to muddle things up, and that could create slower processes and slower sales.
In the meantime, before we go into that meat grinder, we've got the strongest sales in a year for the month of February. National reports all over the place, all these bells and whistles going on. Well, strongest numbers. So despite much higher interest rates compared to some years back. So what do you make of that strong national report?
Well, I think what happened is when we first saw the interest rates get into the sixes, everything came to us immediate halt overnight. And I think it's roughly been close to a year and a half, 2 years now that we've seen these interest rates, and people just realize that is what it is.
Okay.
2% interest rates, that's not normal. I remember I bought my first house in 2006, and it was 8.5%, and I was ecstatic. So typically speaking, 6% is a normal interest rate. There's a lot of predictions that later this year we could be seeing 5s. Now, if you're sitting on the fence and you're going to wait till those 5s, I think you're going to miss the boat. Because if it gets in the 5s, I think everyone's going to jump off the fence and want to start buying. So get in now rather than later. We have a lot of great lending programs out there that you could essentially purchase right now and refinance in the near future for little to nothing. So, get in it now before everybody jumps on the boat.
All right, my friend. Any other statistics you want to share, or just a final thought?
No, just feel free to reach out to us. I know there's a lot of false narratives, false news out there. We love to sit down with our clients, go through the whole buyer counseling interview, teach you about our local economy and demographics and so forth. Visit ryanandbrian.com or call us today at 956-540-2536.
It's good to see you again, amigo. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
Brian Reed with the Ryan and Brian Real Estate Team.